Tom. Welcome back to another English learning episode. Today we're going somewhere that can be exciting, a little confusing, and sometimes even stressful, especially when you have to speak English and you're not completely sure what to say.
I already know where we're going, Emily. We're going to the airport, right?
Exactly. And today's episode is all about speaking English at the airport with confidence.
That's a really useful topic because airports can be difficult for English learners. There are signs everywhere, announcements are playing, people are moving quickly, and sometimes an airport employee asks you a question before you've even had time to think.
That's true. Sometimes you hear an announcement and think, was that for my flight or was that for someone else's flight?
And then you look at the screen and suddenly there are 20 flight numbers, 3 different gates, and a destination you've never heard before.
Exactly. And that's when you realize that knowing English in a classroom is very different from using English in a busy airport.
That's why today we're not going to simply give you a list of airport vocabulary and ask you to memorize it.
Instead, Tom and I are going to take you through a realistic airport experience step by step, from arriving at the airport to checking in, going through immigration and security, finding the gate, boarding the plane, and even dealing with a possible luggage problem.
So you'll hear the kind of English people actually use in those situations.
And don't worry if your English isn't perfect. You don't need complicated sentences to communicate at an airport.
That's one of the most important things to remember. You can speak simple English and still communicate clearly.
For example, if you need to find the check-in counter, you don't need a long sentence.
You can simply say, "Excuse me, where's the check-in counter for this flight?"
Exactly. It's simple, polite, and clear.
Or if you're not sure about your gate, you can ask, "Excuse me, could you tell me where gate 24 is?"
These are the kinds of sentences we're going to practice throughout today's episode.
And we're also going to show you what happens when you don't understand something.
That's important because airport staff may speak quickly and you might miss a word or two.
And when that happens, don't panic.
You can simply say, "Sorry, could you say that again, please?" Or, "Could you speak a little more slowly, please?"
Both are perfectly useful sentences.
And you don't need to feel embarrassed when you ask someone to repeat something.
Exactly. Asking for clarification is part of communication.
I remember one time when I was at an airport and an employee asked me something so quickly that I understood the first half of the sentence but completely lost the second half.
What did you do?
I smiled and said, "Sorry, could you repeat that?"
And what happened?
The employee repeated it more slowly, and suddenly, everything made sense.
See? Problem solved.
Exactly. Sometimes we make airport English more frightening than it really is.
That's because we imagine that every conversation has to be perfect.
But airport staff don't expect you to give a speech.
They usually need simple information from you, such as your passport, your destination, your luggage, your flight number, or your boarding pass.
And you need to understand simple questions and give simple answers.
So today's episode is really about confidence.
Yes, confidence doesn't mean knowing every English word.
It means knowing what to say when you need help.
And knowing that it's okay to ask someone to repeat something when you don't understand. Exactly.
So, Emily, should we imagine that we're traveling internationally today?
Yes, let's make it realistic. We're going to an international airport because we're flying to another country.
Okay, I'm already thinking about my passport.
Good, because that's probably the first thing you should check.
Passport?
Passport, boarding information, luggage, phone, wallet, and anything else you absolutely need.
Wait a second.
What?
I suddenly want to check my passport.
Go ahead.
Okay. Passport is here.
Good.
Phone is here.
Good.
Wallet is here.
Good.
Headphones are here.
Great.
Snacks are here.
Tom, we're going to the airport, not moving into a hotel.
You never know. Airport food can be expensive.
That's true.
So let's say we've arrived at the airport 3 hours before our international flight.
That's a good starting point.
We walk into the terminal, and the first thing we see is a huge departure board.
And now we need to find our flight.
Exactly. We know the airline and destination, but we don't know which check-in counter to use.
So what should we do?
We can look at the information screen first.
Right. We find our flight number and check the counter number.
But let's say the information isn't clear.
Then we ask someone.
And that's where our English practice begins.
We walk toward an airport employee and say, "Excuse me, could you help me find the check-in counter for this flight?"
The employee might ask, "What's your flight number?"
And we answer, my flight number is AB123.
Then the employee might say, it's at counter 42.
And we can respond, thank you very much.
Simple.
Very simple.
But that's exactly what we want our learners to understand.
Real-life English doesn't have to sound complicated.
You just need to know the right sentence for the situation.
And once we find the check-in counter, we have another conversation.
This time, we're talking directly to the airline staff.
They may ask, may I see your passport and booking confirmation, please?
And we can say, sure, here you are.
That's a very useful phrase.
Yes, instead of saying only here, saying here you are sounds natural and polite when giving something to someone.
Then the staff member may ask, are you checking in any bags today?
And if we have one suitcase, we can say, yes, I have one checked bag.
If we only have a small backpack, we can say, no, I'm only carrying a small bag.
Then we may be asked whether we have a preferred seat.
For example, would you like a window seat or an aisle seat?
And that's another important airport question.
If I want to sit beside the window, I can say, a window seat, please.
And if you prefer the aisle,
An aisle seat, please. Very easy.
but what if you don't have a preference?
You can say, either one is fine.
That's useful.
Yes. And if you're traveling with someone, you might want to ask, could we sit together if possible?
That's a very practical sentence.
Exactly. We'll practice it later in the conversation.
So, our airport journey is beginning,
And we're going to take it slowly.
which is actually perfect for our learners.
Exactly. Listen carefully, repeat the useful sentences, and don't worry if you don't remember everything the first time.
You can listen again later.
And when you hear a sentence that you think you could actually use at an airport, pause the video and repeat it out loud.
That's much better than only reading the sentence silently.
Yes, your goal isn't just to understand English.
Your goal is to be able to say it when you need it.
So, are you ready to go through airport English with us?
I'm ready.
Then let's pick up our bags and head to the check-in area.
And Tom has already checked his passport 3 times.
Better 3 times than 0 times.
That's true.
All right, everyone, let's begin our real airport conversation. Tom, we're finally here. The airport is much busier than I expected, and there are people everywhere.
I know, but we arrived early, so we don't need to rush. Let's first check the departure board and find our flight.
Good idea. Our flight is to Singapore, and the flight number is SQ218. Let me look at the screen.
Do you see it?
Yes, I found it. It says our flight is on time, but I don't see the check-in counter number yet.
That's okay. Maybe we need to check another screen near the check-in area.
Let's walk over there and see if we can find more information.
Wait, Emily, I think that sign says international departures, so we should go in that direction.
You're right. Let's follow the signs.
There are so many signs here, but at least they're in English, so we can understand most of them.
Yes, but imagine you are in a completely unfamiliar airport and you can't find the right counter.
That's when you need to ask someone instead of walking around for 20 minutes.
Exactly. And here's an airport employee. Let's practice asking for help.
Go ahead.
Excuse me, could you help me find the check-in counter for Singapore Airlines?
Good question. The employee might answer, of course, which flight are you taking?
Then I would say, I'm taking flight SQ218 to Singapore.
And the employee might say, the check-in counters are on the 2nd floor. Please follow the signs.
Then I can say, thank you very much. That's very helpful.
That's a polite and natural response.
Notice that we didn't use complicated English.
We just explained what we needed and gave the information the employee asked for.
That's the key. Okay, we're on the 2nd floor now and I can see the airline signs.
I see them too. Let's check the screen again.
It says SQ218 and now it shows counters 35 to 40.
Great. Let's go to counter 38.
There's a line, but it isn't too long.
While we're waiting, let's review what we might need.
Passport, booking confirmation, and our luggage.
Right.
And our phones, of course.
Of course.
I don't know why, but I always check my phone at least 10 times before getting on a plane.
Maybe you're worried that your phone will disappear while you're holding it?
That's possible.
Okay, it's our turn. Let's go to the counter.
Good morning.
Good morning. We'd like to check in for flight SQ218 to Singapore.
The airline employee might say, certainly, may I see your passports, please?
And we can answer, sure, here you are.
Then the employee may ask, "Are you checking in any luggage?"
We can say, yes, we have one suitcase each.
Then the employee may put the luggage on the scale.
And if the employee says, your bags are within the weight limit, that's good news.
Very good news.
But what if the bag is too heavy?
The employee might say, "I'm afraid your bag is a little overweight."
Then you could ask, how much is the excess baggage fee?
That's an extremely useful question.
Yes, because you don't want to stand there looking at your suitcase and wondering what to do.
Especially when you have no idea why your suitcase suddenly weighs more than you do.
Maybe you packed too many shoes?
That's impossible.
How many pairs did you bring?
Let's not talk about that.
Okay, let's continue.
The employee has checked our bags, and now we're being asked about our seats.
The employee says, "Would you prefer a window seat or an aisle seat?"
I would say I'd prefer a window seat if possible.
Good. Adding "if possible" makes the request sound polite and flexible.
What about you?
I'd prefer an aisle seat because I like being able to get up easily during the flight.
Then you could say I'd prefer an aisle seat if possible.
Exactly.
But what if you're traveling with a friend and want to sit together?
You can say, "Could we have seats next to each other if possible?"
That's very useful.
Yes, especially when you're traveling with family or friends.
And if the seats next to each other aren't available?
The staff member might say, "I'm sorry, but the flight is quite full, so we don't have two seats together."
Then you could ask, is there any chance we could change our seats later?
Exactly. You're asking politely instead of demanding something.
That's an important point about airport English.
Yes. Phrases like, "Could I?" "Would it be possible to?" and "Is there any chance?" are very useful when making requests.
Everything is almost finished. The employee gives us our boarding passes.
The employee might say, "Here are your boarding passes. Your gate is B24 and boarding begins at 8:10.
Then I should make sure I understand the information.
Exactly. You can say, "Thank you. Just to confirm, our gate is B24, correct?"
That's a useful sentence when you want to make sure you heard something correctly.
And if you're not sure where the gate is, you can immediately ask, "Could you tell me how to get to gate B24?
The employee might say, go through security and follow the signs to the B gates.
Then we can say, "Great. Thank you for your help."
And now we're officially checked in.
Yes.
We have our boarding passes,
Our luggage is checked.
and now we need to go through security,
Exactly.
which means the next part of our airport adventure is about to begin.
And this is where many English learners start feeling nervous because security officers may give quick instructions.
But don't worry, in part 2, we'll practice exactly what you can say and understand when going through immigration and airport security.
We'll also practice asking for directions when you can't find your gate.
Because finding gate B24 in a huge airport can sometimes feel like a treasure hunt.
Especially when you follow one sign and suddenly there are 5 more signs pointing in different directions.
That's when you need one very important sentence.
Which one?
Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to gate B24?
Perfect.
Simple English, clear communication.
That's exactly what today's episode is about.
We have our boarding passes now, so I think we should head toward immigration and security before we look for our gate.
Yes, and I'm glad we have plenty of time because I don't want to be the person running through the airport while everyone else is calmly drinking coffee.
Neither do I, although I think running through an airport would definitely give us a good workout.
That's one way to exercise, but I'd rather walk normally and keep my luggage where it belongs.
Good plan. Let's follow the signs for international departures.
I can see a sign that says immigration, so I think we're going the right way.
Great. Before we get into the line, let's make sure we have our passports and boarding passes ready.
That's a good habit because you don't want to start searching through your bag when you finally reach the immigration counter.
Exactly. Okay, the line isn't too long, so let's wait here.
While we're waiting, what kind of questions might an immigration officer ask?
Usually they may ask about your destination, the reason for your trip, how long you're staying, or where you're going to stay.
So they might ask, "Where are you traveling today?"
And I could answer, I'm traveling to Singapore.
They might also ask, "What is the purpose of your trip?"
If I'm traveling for vacation, I can say, I'm traveling for vacation.
And if you're traveling for work?
I could say I'm traveling for business.
What if you're visiting a friend?
I could say I'm visiting a friend who lives in Singapore.
That's simple enough.
Yes, and you don't need to give a long explanation unless the officer asks for more information.
That's useful because when people are nervous, they sometimes speak too much.
Exactly. Answer the question clearly and honestly, then wait for the next question.
That's actually good advice for any official situation.
Yes, let's imagine we've reached the immigration counter.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The officer looks at my passport and asks, "Where are you traveling today?"
You answer, I'm traveling to Singapore.
Then the officer asks, "How long will you be staying?"
I can say, I'll be staying for 7 days. And then the officer asks, where will you be staying?
I can answer, "I'll be staying at a hotel in the city center."
Good. What if you don't remember the exact address?
If I have the booking information on my phone, I can say, "I have the hotel information on my phone. Would you like to see it?"
That's a very practical sentence.
Yes, because sometimes you know the hotel name but don't remember every detail.
The officer might then ask, do you have a return ticket?
I can say, "Yes, I have a return ticket."
And then the officer checks the documents and says, thank you, you're all set.
And I can say, "Thank you."
That's it.
Exactly. There's no need to make it complicated.
But what if we don't understand the officer's question?
We can politely ask them to repeat it.
For example, I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
Or, "Sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you say it again, please?"
I really like I didn't catch that. It sounds natural.
Yes, and it doesn't mean you literally failed to catch something. It means you didn't hear or understand something clearly.
That's a useful everyday expression.
Now we've finished immigration, so let's move towards security.
I can already see a lot of people taking things out of their bags.
Yes, so we should prepare before we reach the security checkpoint.
What should we do?
Follow the airport's instructions carefully. Depending on the airport, you may need to remove certain items, place your belongings in trays, and follow the security officer's instructions.
So the officer might say, please place your bag in the tray.
And we can simply follow the instruction.
They might also say, please remove your jacket.
Or they may ask you to take certain items out of your bag.
And if I don't understand what they want me to do?
You can ask, "Could you please tell me what I need to remove?"
That's much better than standing there and guessing.
Exactly.
What if the officer asks me to open my bag?
You can simply say, "Sure."
And if they ask, is this your bag?
You can answer, "Yes, it is."
What if they ask, did you pack this bag yourself?
You can say, "Yes, I packed it myself."
That's a useful airport question to know in advance.
Yes, because you may hear it at security or during another airport check.
After security, I think we're finally free.
Almost.
What do you mean?
We still have to find our gate.
Right. Our boarding pass says B24, but this airport is huge.
Let's look for the signs.
I see signs for gate A, B, and C.
We need B24, so let's follow the signs for the B gates.
Wait, I see B12 over there.
Then B24 should be farther down.
How far can it be?
I don't know.
I feel like we've already walked half a kilometer.
We've only been walking for 5 minutes.
5 airport minutes feel like 20 normal minutes.
That's because every airport corridor looks almost the same.
You're right.
Let's check the information screen again.
It says gate B24 is still open, but I don't see it from here.
There's an airport employee over there. Let's ask.
Good idea.
Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to gate B24?
The employee might say, go straight ahead, take the escalator down, and follow the signs for B20 to B30.
Then I can say, "Thank you. Is it far from here?"
The employee might answer, it's about a 5-minute walk.
Great. Now we know what to expect.
I like asking that question because sometimes a gate looks close on the map but is actually a long walk.
Exactly. Another useful question is, are we going in the right direction for gate B24?
That's especially useful when you're not completely sure.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with checking.
Let's continue walking.
Wait, Tom,
What happened?
look at that screen.
What about it?
It says gate change to B31.
What?
Gate changed to B31.
Oh no, we just spent 5 minutes walking toward B24.
At least we practiced asking for directions.
True, but now we need to find B31.
This is actually a very realistic airport situation.
Definitely. Gates can change and you need to pay attention to the departure screens and announcements.
Exactly. If your gate changes, you can ask an employee, "Excuse me, my gate has changed to B31. Could you tell me where it is?"
That's a very useful sentence.
And if you hear an announcement but don't understand it, you can ask, sorry, did they just announce a gate change for flight SQ218?
That's perfect.
Let's ask someone before we get lost again.
Excuse me, could you tell us how to get to gate B31?
The employee points toward another corridor and says, go down this hallway and turn left at the end.
Then we say, thank you very much.
Exactly.
And finally, we find B31.
Yes, and now we have plenty of time before boarding.
I'm glad we didn't wait until the last minute.
That's another important airport lesson,
Always give yourself enough time.
especially when you're traveling internationally or visiting a large airport for the first time.
And if you don't know where something is, ask.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to say, excuse me, could you help me?
That's probably one of the most useful sentences at an airport.
Because you can use it almost anywhere.
At check-in,
At immigration,
at security,
at the information desk.
and at the gate.
So now we're sitting near gate B31 and we're finally able to relax for a moment.
I think I need a coffee.
Of course you do.
Airport English is making me thirsty.
That's a new excuse for coffee.
It's a very good excuse.
Okay, let's get a coffee while we wait.
But we need to keep an eye on the screen.
Exactly. We don't want to be drinking coffee when our flight is boarding.
Let's not create another airport problem.
Tom, our flight is now showing boarding, so I think we should get ready.
Finally, I was starting to think we'd spend the whole day sitting at gate B31.
No, we have a flight to catch.
Let's check our boarding passes one more time.
Good idea. Flight SQ218, gate B31.
And the boarding group is group 3.
Great. We should wait until our group is called.
I can hear an announcement now.
Listen carefully.
I think they're calling group 3.
Yes, they are. Let's get in line.
The staff member checks our boarding passes and says, "May I see your boarding pass, please?"
We can simply say, sure, here you are.
Then the staff member scans the boarding pass.
And we can ask, is this the line for flight SQ218?
That's useful if you're not completely sure you're standing in the correct line.
Exactly.
Then we walk toward the boarding gate.
The staff member may say, have a nice flight,
And we can say, "Thank you, you too."
even though they're not flying.
That's true. Maybe just "thank you" is safer.
Yes, let's keep it simple.
We get on the plane, find our seats, and put our bags away.
Now imagine the flight is over and we've arrived at our destination.
Finally.
We leave the plane and walk toward baggage claim.
This is always the moment when I start looking for the luggage screen.
Yes, we need to find the carousel number for our flight.
I see it. Our flight is listed on Carousel 7.
Great, let's go there.
We wait.
And wait.
And wait.
Why does luggage always take longer when you're tired?
I don't know, but I think every minute feels longer after a long flight.
Exactly.
Here comes the first suitcase.
That's not mine.
Here's another one.
Not mine either.
Another one.
Still not mine.
Wait, is that yours?
No.
Then where is your suitcase?
I don't see it.
Let's wait a little longer.
Okay.
More bags are coming, but your suitcase still isn't there.
I think we may have a problem.
Don't worry yet. Maybe it's still coming.
A few more minutes pass.
Still nothing?
Nothing.
Okay, let's ask someone at the baggage service desk.
Good idea.
Excuse me, my luggage hasn't arrived. Could you help me, please?
That's a very useful sentence.
The staff member might ask, which flight did you arrive on?
We can answer, I arrived on flight SQ218 from Tokyo.
Then they may ask, do you have your baggage receipt?
We can say, yes, I have it here.
Then they may ask for the baggage tag number.
And we should show them the baggage tag or receipt.
The staff member might say, let me check the system.
Then we wait while they look for information.
Finally, they say, it looks like your bag was left behind in Tokyo.
That's not what we wanted to hear.
Definitely not.
But we shouldn't panic. We need to ask what happens next.
So I can say, what should I do now?
Exactly.
The staff member might explain, we'll arrange for the bag to be sent to your hotel when it arrives.
Then you can ask, how long do you think it will take?
That's a very useful question.
And you might also ask, can you give me a reference number?
That's important because you'll need the reference number if you contact the airline later.
Exactly.
The staff member might say, here's your reference number. You can use it to check the status of your luggage.
Then we can say, thank you for your help. I really appreciate it.
Even when you're frustrated, it's important to stay calm and polite.
Yes, being angry usually doesn't make the luggage arrive faster.
Unfortunately, shouting at a suitcase probably doesn't work.
Excuse me, suitcase, where have you been?
I've been waiting for you for 30 minutes.
That would be a very strange airport conversation.
But sometimes you need a little humor when something goes wrong.
Exactly.
Now, let's imagine another situation. What if the suitcase arrives, but it's damaged?
Then you should report the damage to the airline's baggage service desk.
I could say, my suitcase was damaged during the flight. Could you help me report it?
Perfect.
The staff member may ask, what happened to the suitcase?
You can explain simply. For example, the handle is broken or one of the wheels is missing.
Again, we don't need complicated English.
Exactly. Just describe the problem clearly.
What if I accidentally take the wrong suitcase?
That's another possible situation.
Then I should immediately check the luggage tag.
Yes, if you realize you've taken someone else's bag, return it to the baggage area or speak to airport staff.
And I could say, I'm sorry, I think I picked up the wrong suitcase.
Very natural.
The staff member may help you find the correct one.
Exactly.
So, whether the problem is missing luggage, damaged luggage, or a wrong suitcase, the important thing is knowing how to explain the problem.
And knowing how to ask for help.
That's why the sentence, "Could you help me please?" is so useful.
Yes, you can use it in almost any airport situation.
If you're lost, ask for help.
If you don't understand an announcement, ask for help.
If your luggage is missing, ask for help.
If your gate changes, ask for help.
If you're unsure about a procedure, ask for help.
Exactly.
And there's one more thing I want learners to remember.
What's that?
Don't be afraid of making small mistakes.
I agree.
If you say, "where gate," instead of "where is the gate," the grammar isn't perfect, but the person will probably understand what you need.
Yes, but because we're learning, we should practice the complete sentence so that it becomes natural over time.
Exactly. The goal isn't to be perfect immediately.
The goal is to become more comfortable every time you use English.
And airports are actually great places to practice useful English because the situations are very predictable.
You check in,
You show your passport,
you answer questions,
you go through security,
you find your gate,
you board the plane.
and then you collect your luggage.
So if you prepare some useful sentences before your trip, you'll feel much more confident.
Exactly. Tom, we've finally completed our airport journey.
Yes, and somehow we managed to check in, pass immigration, go through security, find a gate that changed, board the plane, and deal with missing luggage.
That's quite a lot for one trip.
Definitely.
But that's also why airport English is so useful. You don't need hundreds of complicated sentences. You need a small number of practical expressions that you can use confidently in different situations.
And today we practiced exactly that.
We started when we arrived at the airport and needed to find our check-in counter.
We practiced asking, "Excuse me, could you help me find the check-in counter?"
Then we practiced checking in and answering questions about luggage.
We learned how to say, "I have one checked bag," and "I'd prefer a window seat if possible."
We also practiced asking for seats together when traveling with someone.
Could we have seats next to each other if possible?
Then we moved to immigration.
We practiced answering questions such as where we're going, how long we're staying, and where we're staying.
And if we don't understand an officer, we can say, "I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, please?"
That's an important sentence to remember.
Then came security.
We learned that it's important to listen carefully to instructions and ask questions when we're not sure what to do.
After that, we had to find our gate,
And our gate changed.
which gave us a very realistic airport problem.
We practiced asking, "Could you tell me how to get to gate B31?
And finally, after the flight, we had a luggage problem.
My suitcase didn't arrive."
Your suitcase didn't arrive. Mine did.
Thank you for reminding me.
Sorry, Tom.
It's okay. At least it gave us something useful to practice.
Exactly. We learned how to say, "My luggage hasn't arrived. Could you help me, please?"
And we practiced asking, "What should I do now?"
These are simple sentences, but they can be extremely useful when you're traveling.
And that's something we want you to remember about English.
You don't have to speak long, complicated sentences to communicate successfully.
Sometimes one clear sentence is enough.
If you need directions, ask a clear question.
If you don't understand something, ask the person to repeat it.
If you have a problem, explain what happened.
And if you need help, simply ask for help.
don't stay silent just because you're worried about your English.
That's probably the biggest mistake an English learner can make at an airport.
You might think, my English isn't perfect, so I shouldn't speak.
But the opposite is true.
You should speak because you need to communicate.
And every time you speak, you're practicing.
Maybe you make a small grammar mistake.
That's okay.
Maybe you forget a word.
That's okay too.
Maybe you need to ask someone to repeat the question.
That's completely normal.
The important thing is that you continue the conversation.
Exactly.
So let's finish today's episode with a quick review.
If you need to find your check-in counter, say,
Excuse me, could you help me find the check-in counter?
if you're checking in your luggage, say,
I have one checked bag.
if you want a particular seat, say,
I'd prefer a window seat if possible.
if you're traveling with someone, say,
Could we have seats next to each other if possible?
if you don't understand a question, say,
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
if you're lost, say,
Could you tell me how to get to gate B31?
if your luggage hasn't arrived, say,
My luggage hasn't arrived. Could you help me, please?
and if you need more information, ask.
What should I do now?
These sentences are worth practicing out loud.
Yes, don't just read them.
Say them.
Repeat them.
Imagine yourself standing at an airport and actually using them.
You can even practice with a friend.
One person can be the passenger,
And the other person can be the airport employee.
then switch roles.
That's a great way to build speaking confidence.
And if you're preparing for a real trip, practice the conversations before you travel.
Think about your destination, your flight number, your hotel, and your luggage.
Then practice answering questions about those things in English.
That way, when someone asks you a similar question at the airport, you won't have to create your answer from zero.
You'll already have practiced it.
Exactly.
And that's what confidence really means.
It doesn't mean that you know everything,
It means you're prepared enough to handle the situation.
and you're willing to communicate even when your English isn't perfect.
So the next time you're at an airport and someone asks you a question in English, don't immediately panic.
Take a breath.
Listen carefully,
Think for a moment if you need to.
and then answer with simple, clear English.
And if you don't understand,
Ask them to repeat it.
if you're lost,
Ask for directions.
if there's a problem,
Explain it and ask for help.
that's it.
Simple English can take you a long way.
Literally, especially when you're traveling.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
And hopefully after listening to this episode, you'll feel more prepared for your next airport experience.
Remember, English is not only something you study in a book.
It's something you use when you're buying a ticket, checking in, asking for directions, talking to airport staff, and solving unexpected problems.
Every real situation is another opportunity to practice.
So keep listening,
Keep repeating.
keep speaking.
And don't be afraid of making mistakes.
Because the more you use English, the more natural it becomes.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
We hope this episode helps you feel more confident the next time you travel.
And if you enjoyed practicing airport English with us, don't forget to come back for more realistic English conversations.
We'll bring you more everyday situations, more useful expressions, and more conversations that you can actually use in real life.
Until next time, take care and have a safe journey.
And remember, when you're at the airport, don't be afraid to ask.
Excuse me, could you help me, please?
That's often the best sentence to start with.
See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Keep practicing your English.